Hey, it's Kimosabe here, giving you the update that you've been looking for. Yeah, we got that sell-off. Happened real early in the week, just like it did last week. If you look at the pattern that we're completing here, we're repeating the same thing, a little ABC down, where you had a sell-off on Friday, and weekend up and kind of sideways and then straight down. You had the sell-off on Friday, sideways and up-ish, and then straight down. So this may be a completed structure and we could be looking for upside. But I have been looking for these liquidities to be taken out. Now we've taken them out. We do have liquidity to the upside around 107. That may be the next target if price supports here. Let's draw out kind of what I've been looking at as far as the range trading. So based on the timing and kind of the way the wave is progressing, I was kind of looking at this pattern here to match this. Some kind of ABC in the middle there. Crudely drawn, but it's just basically chop and down. And now price action is kind of mimicking that leg right over here. Didn't quite meet the 1-to-1 fib extension, but it did take the liquidity, so it may be complete. That may be all you get. I'm kind of waiting for a 1-hour uptrend to start before I jump into it. And after this does bottom out here and start an uptrend, you can kind of expect this to play out and maybe take all-time high before pulling back down to match this leg. Back down again to maybe test 101, maybe 100K. Make sure that it's support. If you do indeed close a higher high up here, this would be your higher low, and then push up, mimicking that leg. And like I've been expecting, like February to be more bullish. Another way to look at it would be this being some kind of weird ABC. And then this pattern here is matching that pattern. Now this pattern coming down is matching this pattern coming down. And if that does happen, then this would come next, break all-time high, and then hold above the all-time high at around 110 to 114,000 and start a range there for, I don't know, probably a week or something like that, if the pattern does want to be bullish. And out of there, you can expect more upside. Kind of a, I don't know, this would be like 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, and then you're really marking up pretty high. If today and tomorrow the price continues to push down to like 94, you may be matching this pattern. And then you would just kind of chop this back up to here and then redo this from there. And that would complete the pattern, getting you that 87,000. This would be in Elliott wave terms, that would be wave 4. It would actually look like a distribution range with one more pop up. And the target for that would be like 125. I'd probably be calling tops there, especially if you go to 125 and then close back inside this range. That would be a stop loss for a peak of the market for a little while, and then you'd expect some downtrending. And if that does happen, hey, it's been a great run, and we'd have some buying setups coming way lower. Something else this thing might do is it might repeat the weekend flag out here and tap the low one more time. Let's zoom out to a weekly chart and see what we see. Well, we did not get a higher high weekly close. Again, another rejection candle, or seemingly so. But those rejection candles are kind of looking like these rejection candles over here, rejecting the downside. And now that's kind of mimicking that. So maybe we push down and have a down week for this red week here, and then the following week to be up. We will see. We are currently at the weekly order block buy setup right there at 98,333. So we should get a reaction off of that. So hoping for a reaction there. And we'll see if we can get a little uptrend happening on a 5 or 15 or 1 hour chart. 15-minute may be tradable. The 1 hour is preferred though. And as I do with all the wicks, that wick, you can measure that and take 50% of it. You'd be at 105, basically the previous wick high, 106.2. That may be a sell setup if it comes. I guess it depends on how it comes. You'd be taking the upper liquidity from last week, right at the 50% encroachment of that wick, around 106. So something to watch for. Also, the previous supports down here at 91.5, you have not come and checked that as support the way price often does. So we may have a run down there before any bounce. But yeah, we should have a reaction in this area just based on that order block. Daily chart here, we're coming up on that wick right there when we're already in it. So maybe where there was demand before, there will be demand again. We'll see. The market may want to come out and take those stop losses as well and maybe push down a little farther. From the Wyckoff perspective, kind of as I was looking at this as potentially a reaccumulation, and there's your reaccumulation. You have your spring, your show of strength. This would be the backup phase. It should be on lower volume, which for now it is on low volume. It is kind of back testing the top of that. So what I've kind of been wanting to see is a move down to grab that liquidity and close the daily back above like 102, something like that, back inside the upper range, which we can mark that one off as well. Kind of the reaccumulation show of strength range. Kind of the way I was looking at it. Coming back down here and maybe get back up inside this range and get to the upper portion of the range to be a little more bullish. Anywhere above 103 would be great, especially closing daily candles up there. And then we could expect the highs to be taken. And that may be another show of strength out of this reaccumulation range. You'd have a show of strength and you'd want price to stay above there and not come back inside the box after it has made it to the high. So that could be, wave 4 complete. This would be wave 1. This would be wave 2 coming down, and then a 1, 2, and then it's just off to the races. But we will see. Zooming into the 1 hour chart, kind of where we want to see a higher high. We don't really have a higher high until we're closing above 101,300 would be your higher high on the 1 hour. Unless if this chops around here, swings high and takes the low, then that would be a place to look for a higher high. So nothing super actionable just yet. You can nibble there at the lows, but you're kind of catching a falling knife until this thing does start trending up on some kind of time frame. If you get really into the weeds here, you do have a swing high on a 5-minute, swing down, and now you did close ever so slightly higher high, so you could try for a higher low somewhere around here to maybe get the push up into London session, and then we'll see what New York wants to do with it. Yeah, you barely closed a higher high on a 5-minute. 15-minute, I don't think it has it just yet. This can be a completed move. Draw that out for you. You basically have this being an ABC of some sort. Pop up there, pop up there. Then the continuation push, continuation push. So this can be completed. But you really want to see a series of higher highs and higher lows come out of here. on any time frame, really. Something to give you some kind of credibility that this thing may be reversing. The higher the time frame, the better. I kind of want to see a 4 hour engulfing candle engulfing some of this price action, and that would be a decent low. But here on the 4 hour, you can see we don't even have any green candles yet. 3 hours left to close this candle. If this candle does engulf this candle, that would look pretty bottomy. Any strong reaction here would be good. But we might be like stabbing the lows like we stabbed the highs up here. It might take a few stabs down there to take all the liquidity that it wants. So you might get a move down to 96 or something like that, maybe even as low as 95.5 before this thing wants to reverse. I think we do have a measurement that says that this thing can be complete. If this is some kind of weird triangle formation or something, or some kind of ABC up, we did reach a 1-to-1 fib extension. The 1272 also valid. If you're getting down to the 92, you might just get a little bounce and then it's downtown to Goblin Town. Oh wow, that fib extension could take you down to 85. Is that in? Oh, that's 82. So if price action does get down to 92, you might just get a bounce and some kind of retrace. And this may be a very nasty Elliott wave pattern where you'd have a one, probably put 1, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to there. You'd have a small little bounce and then a flush down. This may be the structure you're dealing with. So definitely know your invalidations and don't get over leveraged because this thing could go flying down. That would complete some kind of ABC down, taking all that liquidity. Kind of deep for my liking. I wouldn't want to see it go below 85, but hey, the market may want to do that. Kind of think that's too nasty. The 4 hour is pretty oversold, but can't rule it out. Some kind of ABC like that, expanded flat structure. But we'd have to see this in real time as it comes down and see if the move is completed somehow. It may just take out those lows and go to 87.5, may go to 85.7, but it may also get down to the 82 range for that measurement. So definitely things to watch for. Wait for an uptrend to start and trade the trend. So the 4 hour is currently down, pretty decently down. We've had nothing but red candles since the weekly open. This can be, like I was suggesting earlier in the video, it can be the weekly shakeout where you're just mimicking last week's price action. Something like this, where you just went ABC down to start out the week. Not really expecting that big flush upward like that. Kind of want price to take its time and kind of build itself a series of higher highs and higher lows before it kind of takes the high, comes back down, takes the high again. That's what I would prefer to see. That I'd see that as more bullish than just a straight shot up to grab liquidity. That would probably get sold into pretty quickly if I had to guess. So I'd suggest waiting for an uptrend to start, or wait for this to have some accumulation, a swing failure, and that could become your stop loss. If not, you need an engulfing candle, and that would become your stop loss. You know, trade the trend and keep your stops tight and have a good night.